Shalom, beloved. This is my third video for this evening. It is, and you probably can't see this on the screen here, but it's 3:01 a.m. on the 21st. It's my mother's birthday. I changed my shirt. I noticed a brother who does YouTube videos. God bless him. I love him. Brother Patrick has uploaded or did several videos at one time and had the same shirt on. But when he uploaded those, and spread them out over days, it looks like he hasn't changed his shirt in days, but I know he has. It only appears that way because he did multiple videos. So and I noticed that today, brother. So I went and changed my shirt for the for this third video. Now I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm going to be really frank with you. The day of the Lord, it's a very serious issue. The prophets write about the day of the Lord as being great and terrible, and as it should be, because terrible things happen. Billions of people are going to perish, many of those who have been scoffers in the last days, who are going to burn as stubble. What I want to show you here, before we get into the actual table, is several scriptures that confirms this, and I'm really trying to set up the actual term that we look for in the scripture. That's the Axis term, on the day of the Lord, and it comes up in an amazing place. But it's a very powerful indication of where we are on a timeline. Now, what I showed you, or tried to show you in the last video, was where the fullness of the Gentiles is. Also in that, we will be establishing when the time of Jacob's trouble starts. Because we know in Hosea 5:15, this is speaking about Jesus. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction they will seek me early. And this is going to be during the time of Jacob's trouble. What I want to show you here is this is in 2 Peter 2, wait a minute, 2 Peter 3:10. For the day of the Lord cometh as a thief in the night, which the heavens shall pass away with great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are in shall be burned up. Seeing all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought ye be in the holy conversation of godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Lord, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, according to his promise, look for a new heavens and new earth, wherein dwell righteousness. And then we know this is the new Jerusalem. The new heavens comes down after the earth is baptized with fire. Also, I want to show you over in Isaiah. This is 2 and 12. For the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon every one that is proud and lofty, and upon every one that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. Upon every one that is lifted up. This is talking about the catching away. And I want to point this out, and I'm not going to harp on this a whole lot, but I think it's really important to point out because this is where God started getting my attention about the sabbaticals and the signs that he was doing among his people, and that is over here at where Rabbi Kaduri's actual note is. And I know I said I'm not going to talk about this anymore, but I think it's important to point this out because for him to give the name that he did, he had first had to construct purposely each word that he spoke in the sentence that he gave for the actual code to work. and the words that he chose were very specific, and they had a hidden meaning. So what we have is a code within a code. Okay, um, let's look at what he said, and I've pointed this out in a couple of other places, and so for those of you who have not heard this already, this is for you. This is what he actually said. He will lift the people and prove that his word and law are valid. Now, he will lift the people is an indication, just like in Isaiah 2. This is the rapture, the catching away, the resurrection. And I've mentioned before, the Jews believe in resurrection. That's something they're looking for. His he will prove his word and law are valid. Who's the word and law? Jesus is the word, and he fulfilled the law. And when this happens, this was going to prove that he is valid, basically. So that's why all of this matters. You know, the thing about God calling to my attention Ariel Sharon's passing away 5 weeks before it happens. God was pointing me to something that was very critical, and that is the sabbatical, the sabbatical series. I mean, sequence. This is all about sevens. Now, when you take into consideration what's said in Joel, and it shall come to pass afterward that I'll pour out my spirit upon all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. You're seeing all of that now. I will show, and also upon the servants, upon the handmaids, in those days I will pour out my spirit, and I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, in the blood and fire, pillars of smoke. That's to come. The sun shall be turned to darkness, and the moon into blood, for the great and terrible day of the Lord. That's what I'm talking about. The day of the Lord. There's things that happen in signs, and we are to recognize that in this, what we see here with these tetrads. Now, what we got here, and again, this is my brother Louis Vega, does an outstanding job putting together these charts. Now, there's some places that I don't agree with as far as minor detail, mind you. But he does a very good job, and I use it as a way of giving a visual explanation of what I'm talking about. Lewis is one of my subscribers, and has given me permission to use his charts for instructional purposes. Now, in this chart, and I'm glad you've done this one, Lewis, because we can now see into, further down the line into, and let me just move it up just in case you can't see. Well, it's right here, and just in case I'm behind this with my thing, it's here. This is around 2022. Now, I'm pointing this out because before I was thinking things seemed compressed, and that was because I was seeing a layering of these indications in scriptures, and mostly by Jesus. And when they asked him, when will we know these signs? When's the end of the era? And he gave them a sequence, time of sorrows, the end of the age. All these things that we could place that are obvious that we could place on the timeline. Now, I believe in this area here, like I said, from 2012 to 2015, this is the fullness of the Gentiles. Time of sorrow started back in 9/11. I believe at the fullness of the Gentiles that the rapture has to be here somewhere. Now, it can be sooner. I will say this. Now, I believe it's going to be connected to Rosh Hashanah, Yom Torah. That's just my position. Don't stone me. But it's either this next one or the following one. I cannot see it in anything that I'm looking at going any further, because it just, at that point, things don't fit. I mean, we're taking into consideration Daniel's timeline, and also these blood moons that are happening on feast days, where obviously God is going to do something on those days. Now, 2018. See this? This is in my theory. a midpoint. Also believe that around 2022 is the actual point of the day of the Lord. And I'll show you why. Now, we know 2015 into 2016, this is the Sabbatical year. This is where it's a possibility. Think about Jubilees. Nobody knows for certain, but the one thing is for certain, it is on a Shemitah year. So it could be right here, or it could be 2022. Now, if it's here, that means things are very compressed, and we are definitely further into prophecy than you realize. The other, and very plausible, and probably most plausible explanation is the rapture happens somewhere in here. The midpoint is in here. Imagine what's happening at the temple in the midpoint with whoever the AC is, and then the moon turning to blood, and the sun being darkening out before the day of the Lord. And now I'm just setting that up because that's really what it lines up. The sun shall be turned to darkness, and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord. Even Malachi. Now, before the day cometh, that shall burn up as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And that day cometh, they shall be burned up, said the Lord of hosts. Now, before all of that, which is very soon, I believe, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the great and terrible, or great and dreadful day of the Lord. And he shall turn the hearts of the father to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse, because he is. It's going to be fire, and it's going to destroy. And what's going to happen after that? Well, the righteous will tread down the ashes. And I'm not trying to spread fear into people, but this is very real. I mean, and I know they've been saying this for a long time. They even said here in in Peter, how in the last days they'll talk about scoffers. Is that here? Where was that? Yeah, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last day scoffers, walking after their own lusts, saying, where is the promise of his coming, since the fathers fell asleep? And all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. And and you're right. And then there's been people like Harold Camping that's made predictions about things, and all the other people that's come out of the woodwork. But still, even still, God speaks to his people, and he reveals hidden things to his people. And he does not intend for us to be ignorant about the times that we're in. So that's why we could see, those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, understand those spiritual things that are taking place all around us. And you can discern the times we're in. Now, what I want to show you is it's pretty, I believe, amazing. And that is this. Let me just turn the camera off. All right, here we go. All right, guys, this is really important to establish when this is. Now, I believe that there's a stronger indication in the date given here and the date given here, which is a more sparsely or larger skip, and also the proximity of it. This one's a stronger. That this is probably the date of the Jubilee year. Jubilees is in here. This is the Jubilee in orange, and the Jubilee. You also have Jubilees down here, and Day of Atonement, atonement here. Now, the thing about this is a promise. This is well established that on the day of the Lord, which is our access term here in the purple, happens on a particular time, a set time, an appointed time. Now, when his feet touches down, and I established this in the second coming video, the Messiah stepping down on the Mount of Olives. This confirms the atonement to the Jews. They will realize that it is Jesus, and all these cataclysmic things will have taken place, and he will defeat the enemies of Israel. They come to destroy Israel. What we got here and locked into on the day of the Lord, we're expected to go into what's called rest, the Jubilees. It's a sabbatical year. It's based on 7 sevens or 49 years, and then on the 50th year, people are released in debt. Slaves are freed. And this is also, by the way, this day, the Day of Atonement, just like in the Second Coming video, where I pointed out very early in the video how there was a Moses going on the mountain twice. That was important because all of this happened on feast days. And we came down the second time, it was on the Day of Atonement. He came to the second time to atone for the nation. And the same thing happens again in the end with Yeshua, because he is the fulfillment of all things. And here you can see in this table the Messiah, Mashiach right there. It's also down here to skip a 1. Yeshua, Mashiach, very close to Jesus right here. Man of God and Elijah together. We know Elijah will make his presence known. The Moedim, the appointed times. We also have redemption in there that goes off the screen. Also, they're going off the screen in the red and black. Going this way is blood moon, and in the yellow and red we have the eclipse. Here are some dates that are here. We got Hey Tav Shin, Hey Tav Shin Ein, Hey, which is 2015. That is a Shemitah year. And we have Shemitah right here. Hey Tav Shin Ein Vav, which is 2016, right here. That Shin is splitting the verse, talking about the Jubilees. Turah, right here, which is the blast, the shout, Turah. Look at this. 70s, right there. Now we have a comment in here too. Now comment is in the black and red. Very small skip crossing over all of this. And there's fervent heat at the coming of the Lord. Also here. Now consider Revelation, where it talks about wormwood. All of these things that are going to happen in Revelation that go in conjunction with the day of the Lord. We've got Sukkot, which is tabernacles, which is also the word tabernacle is here. We've got the children of Israel right here. Look at this, as a rapture, very tightly woven in there, sharing that lamed. Now in the yellow is I think it's translated long after, long therefore after in comfort. Long therefore after in comfort. How about that? Yeah. Amazing. Listen. The people of the Lord, the assembly of the people of God. The assembly of the people of God. Asafi, the great assembly, the assembly of the people of God, with Hashomer, the watchmen. And what are the watchmen doing? They're blowing the shofar. Look there. The shofar, shofar, and the shofarot. All in one line. Right there. It's amazing. on this side where Mashiach is, we also have anointed in the red, but this mem is also a part of the destroyer right there. And I remember up at the top we have atonement there. But let's read the verses I have highlighted. I think you'll see something. We're talking about sabbaticals now. Now, this is verse 16. This is, you see there it was you can't see it off the side there or down here, so I was showing you. We're in Exodus 16:26. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, and it shall be none. This is the 7th day right there. This next verse was chapter 5, verse 10. Vakara. And he shall offer the second for a burnt offering according to the manner the priest shall make an atonement for him for his sin which he had sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. Now this is talking about sin, atonement for sin. The Day of Atonement. Yeah, all in one table here. We got makes atonement there, Jubilees. Let's go to this verse. This is the actual one that blew me away. And Vakra 25:9 is where we start. Wait a minute. Yeah. Let's start at 4. But in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath rest unto the land, and a Sabbath unto the Lord, and thou shalt neither sow thy field nor prune thy vineyard. Now this is exactly what Jonathan Cahn's been pointing out in his book, The Harbinger, about the Shemitas and in the Sabbath years. You give the land rest. That which groweth of his own accord, that harvest thou shalt not reap, neither shalt gather thy grapes of the vine undressed for a year of rest unto the land. And the Sabbath of the land shall be a meat for you and thee, and for thy servant, and for thy maid, and for a hired servant, and for the stranger that sojourneth with thee, and for thy cattle, and for the beasts that are in thy land, and shall increase therefore be meat. And thou shalt number Sabbaths of years unto thee 7 times 7 years, in the space of 7 Sabbaths. So we're talking about 7 sevens, 49 years. And thou shalt cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month. This is the Day of Atonement. The Day of Atonement, ye shall make the trumpet sound through all of the land. Praise God. And that is a golden trumpet, by the way. Every six of the 7 years is a silver trumpet, and on this time it's a golden trumpet. And ye shall hallow the 50th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land and the inhabitants thereof, and it shall be a jubilee unto you, and ye shall return every man into his possessions, ye shall return every man into his family. And guess what? Your Redeemer did that. He has already paid the price, and there's a day coming where he's going to reconcile all things. Okay, that's powerful, guys. This next verse I got down here, Devarim. This is where 70s is. We're in 11, verse 1. And know ye this day, for I speak not with your children, which have not known, which have not seen the chastisement of the Lord your God, and his greatness, and his mighty hand, and his outstretched arm, and his miracles and his acts which he did in the midst of Egypt, to Pharaoh and king of Egypt, and unto all his land. And that is, by the way, connected with comet. And I did have it in another part of this table that I'd done previously, but I didn't have it here. But it comes up right across there, crossing over the bet in Rapture, crossing or pointing to the bet here going this way is a signpost or a signal indicating this comet, I believe. And there's two here, and this particular one could be the one that we just saw. You know, I've said before that Ison had to be a harbinger and nothing more. I didn't see that it was going to be a problem to the planet. It looked to me as it could possibly break into pieces, and it also did that. Final verse. I want to come back to here and show you what is there. And I believe this is talking about signs and chapter 32, verse 29. For they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that would consider their latter end. And then it goes on talking about Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, so their signs were there, and they didn't consider their latter end. And I'm telling you, folks, we are coming onto a point of reconcile. God is going to reconcile all things. There's a day of judgment coming. A price is going to be paid for the sins of this world, and a reckoning is about to take place. So, you know, with this in mind, the next video I want to do is probably going to be this one, and this is very powerful too. This is fire from heaven, and we're going to see some amazing things here. It's also an important revelation down here, coming in conjunction with this vertical term here. So be looking for that. So guys, God bless you. Look, I'm not trying to put fear in people. I want you to understand that we're in an important and critical time in history, and you need to consider your latter end. All right, those that call upon the Lord in the last days shall be saved. Now, in the last moments of what is really the question. You can do that now or gamble later. You know, the choice is yours. But I'm telling you, this is serious times that we're in, and things are lining up, guys, looking like things are about to take place. And I know, and I pointed out in Scripture, even just a minute ago, scoffers in the last day. Where's it coming? Well, it's very soon. God bless you. See you in the next videos, guys.